We're supposed to be talking about good stuff. So, we got any good stuff we want to talk about?
I'm sure there's lots of stuff. I'll let you go.
Well, I have something that's not so good, but and we're not going to dwell on it. I just want to comment that there was an article in the Tribune today about Henry Kissinger and how he's despised in Latin America. But that's all I'm going to say about that.
I knew there were places that he wasn't able to go to because he had been
Yeah, if he had shown up, they would have arrested him for human
right.
rights violations and stuff because he supported the regimes. He was so afraid of communists and socialism that he supported military juntas that were not democratically elected, basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. So, but he made it to 100, so good for Henry.
Yeah. I actually didn't know he was still alive till he died.
Oh
Like, he was
yeah, no,
still
I saw
alive?
a thing. They interviewed him. Gosh, this must have been a couple of years ago. I don't know who it was that I'm trying to remember, but I just remember the interview and they were talking about his years, under Reagan and all of that. And I mean, it was really a fascinating interview.
I mean, in my mind, I told Stump, I was like, wow, in my mind, he was an old man back when I was a kid, back like in the
Well, he seemed like an old man to us, right?
yeah, right. Back especially, I mean, I was like a teenager or whatever, and I was like, he was an old man. So when Stump mentioned like, oh yeah, he died, I was like,
Yeah.
you mean like just now?
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, he made it to
Like
100.
not 30 years ago?
I wonder if Jimmy Carter's going to hold out for 100 now that everybody. I mean, he was the one that everybody was kind of expecting to go because he's been in hospice since like February,
And it ended up being Rosalind, yeah.
and then it ended up being Rosalind. Although I understand she had dementia and was in a home, so. But still, they were such a pair, right?
Yeah, yeah.
77 years, so that's amazing. Really
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah.
I guess they met and they've known each other since they were kids and were in high school. I guess they were high school sweethearts or something like that. But
Are you and Bob shooting for 77 together?
I don't know. Don't you think 50's enough?
I don't know. You tell me.
50 enough is enough already, don't you think? Well, God willing and the creek don't rise, who knows? But let's see, we were married in 76, so we're 47 years, right? Is that 47 years?
Wow.
So
Good
it's
for
been a
you.
minute. It's been a minute.
That's some good stuff.
Yeah, that is some good stuff. So um my sister-in-law thinks I'm mean to him.
Are you?
Well, not any more than he's mean to me.
I'm not sure if that answered the question.
Well, since his stroke, he just moves slowly. That's all. And I was kind of
Gives you
giving.
more time to yell at him. You can't get away as fast.
But I can. I can run away when he starts yelling at me. He can't come after me now. So, what did you do this weekend? The holiday season is in full swing.
My sister was in town, so just kind of hung
Hang
out
with
with her a
her.
little bit. Yeah, she had stuff going work wise all week, but then we finally kind of got to spend a little time together this weekend. Uh,
Yeah. Well, I
she
think the
left
holiday
yesterday.
parties have started, and actually, the funny thing is, it's
Yeah,
not.
that's one of the some of the stuff she had is work holiday parties. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, all of my parties aren't this week, although I guess our office is having a holiday potluck on Thursday. Are you going to bring something? Are you going? I'm
I don't know yet. I'm not sure.
I have actually have a conflict. I'm going to a luncheon down at Roosevelt, women's leadership lunch, so I won't be there. But
Hmm.
I had signed up for it back in October, I think.
And
So
then we have the Howl at the Moon thing next week.
following week, yeah, the following week is when I have everything. Um, my high school class is having a thing up in Highwood at the Bocce Ball Club, which is
Oh
fun.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Highwood Bocce Ball Club. That
yeah, it's been there
um,
forever. Yeah.
they do a great job with they make all that great Italian food. They bring out all the pans of Italian food, and then they'll teach us how to play bocce ball if we want to learn.
You guys did it there once before, right?
Yeah, they've been doing it. So it used to be, it kind of got started after our 40th class reunion. We after the 40th class reunion, a group that live in the area decided they should get together. Why wait for a formal reunion type of thing? And one of my classmates actually owned a house in Lake Bluff. Lake Forest High School also was a high school for Lake Bluff, for kids that lived in Lake Bluff. And so she owned a home in Lake Bluff, and it was a great house. It was just such a perfect house for entertaining. And people would just, it was very, very casual. I mean, people would just show up with food, and I mean, she set the date and whatnot, and people would show up with food and bottles of booze and what you wanted to drink. You brought what you wanted to drink, and there was always like so much food. It was great, and we'd all just kind of hang out all night at her house. Well, um, I think it was during COVID. She sold her house, but then of course during COVID we didn't get together either. But she sold her house because she downsized, whatever. So now, ever since we started back again after COVID, they've had it at the Highwood Bocce Ball Club. So yeah, it's a fun night. It's a fun night. So and I'm making our condo building is doing a glug party. I'm making my Danish glug that I shared the recipe in my holiday recipe book. If anybody wants it, you have to ask me and I'll send you the link.
I have to ask.
Well, it's, in Denmark, you don't share your glug recipes. It's a highly guarded secret. So I've been told.
You're doing it anyway?
I'm doing it anyway. I'm breaking with tradition. I'm sharing my glug recipe, but every family has
over there.
What?
Have you ever been over there?
I have not. My brothers have been, and when you show up, of course, you're treated like royalty. The relatives from America thing, and you go. So so my brothers have been there, and they've stayed in touch with family and whatnot. But they're all getting older now too, of course. But it was my grandfather that came through Ellis Island, and the funny thing is he and his brother married sisters from the same little town in Denmark. And isn't that funny? But I think that happens a lot in small towns, right?
Yeah, I think that was pretty common. I've heard too, especially with like in Stump's family, the Irish family too, very similar.
Yeah, we're in a small town where brothers will marry sisters and whatnot. So
yeah, as a matter of fact, that kind of happened to his family too, his grandparents. That it's a little foggy on the stories. Different family members have different versions of it, but basically his grandmother's sister was like the one that was being sent to America, and there was a family friend there that she was going to marry, the son of family from their village in Ireland. Yeah, was already there in Chicago. So they had been saving up money and had the ticket for her. And then like the night before she was supposed to leave, she broke down crying and saying, I can't go, because she was in love with somebody else and they didn't know about it.
Oh.
And then Stump's grandmother was like, I'll go.
I don't care. I'll marry anybody just to get out of this town.
And so I don't think that's who she married. Stump's grandfather wasn't the guy that
she ended up marrying. She took her ticket to America.
Yeah, but she went home, packed her bag, and she got on that boat the next day.
Wow.
And left, and that's how she ended up.
Fortunately, it was not the Titanic.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But that's how his grandmother ended up over here. But
no kidding. Yeah. But now wait a minute, what's that got to? I thought you said that something similar happened in his town.
Well, just the whole
Oh,
family
just the fact
marrying
that
family, like,
the sister
yeah, the
took
sister
the
was
other
supposed to be
sister.
marrying another guy from the town, and all of that. Yeah, and
Oh,
yeah, they
gotcha.
were being sent
Then
over
the poor
together.
lad ended up without anybody wanting to marry him. What was his problem, I wonder?
And I was under the impression from one of
He
the stories,
probably
the
fell in love
first
with
story,
somebody here and married them, and they, it's a mutual thing, probably, right?
I think so, but the first time I heard the story from one of the family members, it was the guy she married. Stubbs'
Oh,
grandfather was that guy. But later I was told no, he wasn't. But I think he was still from like
the same town.
England, yeah, or close by, or that they still knew him somehow, or whatever. Yeah, but it wasn't
Oh,
the one that his sister was being sent to marry, but
oh,
it was still kind of a similar situation. Yeah.
funny. That's funny.
From the
Oh,
same county, how they do in Ireland. It was
oh,
that type
right,
of
right,
thing.
right, right. Yeah, 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 yeah.
But
So,
but his Stump's grandfather died when his dad was only like 12 or 13. He was the oldest.
mm,
So they didn't know a lot about, they did none of Stump or his siblings knew him, and most of their aunts and uncles didn't even know him because they were like little kids or toddlers or infants but when he died. So there was a lot of mystery there.
they don't know why he died.
They do, but I mean, there was a lot of mystery about him
Oh,
because
right, because
he
they do.
didn't grow, even that generation didn't grow up with him. So
Yeah, got yeah, yeah,
I don't remember what happened actually, but yeah, I can't remember what it was.
yeah, yeah.
It was like a somewhat common thing. I don't remember if it was
Some
like
sort of an infection, like
scarlet fever sort of thing or whatever. Yeah, I don't.
malaria or something like that, that they now have immunizations for. But
Yeah, right.
so
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, so
Hey, you should go sometime.
I do. I need to put it on my bucket list, right, to go. But actually, I wanted to go with my brothers, and my sister-in-law got funny about it, so that kind of ended the discussion. But
About you going or about her going?
well, I'm not sure.
Oh,
I'm not exactly.
that one of those historical mysteries.
Yeah, exactly. One of those family things that nobody bothered to really confront her on. I just figured it wasn't worth the family feud. But yeah, maybe I need to bring it up again. So, because it's been a couple of years. So, because they know them, and particularly David, he's stayed in touch with them and emails them and
You mean
whatnot.
the family over there?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
they in Copenhagen or are they somewhere else?
No, I think they're no. They're not in Copenhagen. I don't know. I don't know where they honestly, I don't know where they are. I think they're in Silkeborg. I think they're around Silkeborg. But I don't actually know. I mean, if we do go, I'll obviously have to research all this.
Now, you are traveling for the holiday though. Where are you going?
No, no, we're not. We were
Uh,
going to, but no, no, we've decided to stay put.
oh,
So
okay.
yeah, we're staying put. But
Where were you going to go?
we were gonna go actually. We were thinking of flying out Christmas Day and go to Scottsdale.
Oh, right,
Are you
right.
going to Arizona this Christmas or no?
Not at Christmas. We never go at Christmas. We may go in February or something. I don't know yet.
So are you in town for the holidays, or what are you up to? Yeah. You,
Yeah,
are you gonna drive if you go, or do you fly? You drive?
we'll drive. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have your car there. You're gonna take
Well,
didn't you go like the month of February last year?
yeah, we go so we take the car because we take the dog into my mom's, and then we take her and her dogs. But we take her car once we get to Tulsa.
Oh. No, my niece who lives in Louisville that we saw for Thanksgiving, her in-laws have a place in Tucson,
Hmm.
and they're going out there for Christmas.
Yeah.
Her in-laws always go down for Christmas and then they stay, for the winter. and then they come back, but
Mhm.
in the spring sometime. So
Lots of those down there.
what's that?
Lots of those down there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's a nice time of year to be there, right? The weather's nice in Tucson that time of year, isn't
I
it?
think so. Yeah. I mean, it's not
It's
like
not super.
springtime, but it's not,
I think
harsh
it by
like it
the I
is.
think by May that starts getting too hot and they come home.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, it can still be in the 30s or 40s some, but not all day, and it's still
well, it's
sunny.
at night in the desert, right? I mean,
And
like
it's still sunny, and pretty much every day sunny, so
yeah.
clear skies and
Well, I
sunny.
mean, it's a desert, right?
Mhm.
It gets cold at night, but warms up, gets
Well,
hot.
it gets cold in the day too, and it even snowed a couple times while we were there too. So,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's just not as harsh as it
Now,
is.
does Stump's family, is it a house or is it a townhouse or what is it? I don't remember.
It's a condo, but it's like a ground level sort of thing, so it acts kind of like a little house. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they have a lot of those complexes out there, right? It's kind of their thing, right?
Well,
Does it have like does it share like common walls with another property or
and each building has like 4 units in it, two up and two down.
oh okay. Okay. So it is like a condo then.
Yeah, yeah, it is a condo. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
and it's
Good.
got a patio and all that.
Well, you should invite
More
us
like a
to come
patio.
out. If you're gonna go for the month of February, you should invite me to come out.
Okay, you're
But
welcome.
guess what I found out talking about my classmates? I just found this out. I don't know why I didn't put this together. I think there's something wrong with me. I think I must be getting old or something. But remember,
I've been telling you for years there's
you've
something
been telling
wrong.
me that for years. Talk about dementia, right? But I I found out that remember I was in Monterey in August. I did that kind of long weekend in Monterey, California. Well, I found out that one of my classmates lives there.
Oh, really?
I totally could have had dinner with him and and his wife and had a nice dinner with him, but for some reason I didn't
Yeah.
make the connection. I thought he was up I thought he was up around San Francisco. I thought he was up in the Bay Area for some reason, but nope, it's right in
Or
Monterey. He's a professor. I think he's kind of quasi-retired now, but he's a professor at the Naval, what is it called? The Naval Graduate School, I think it's called, or it's the
you're the one that's
Naval,
supposed to know that. You're the
what's
Navy
that?
kid. You're the
What?
Navy kid. You're the one that's supposed to know that stuff.
Yeah, well, he went to MIT after high school. He was our class valedictorian. He
Mhm.
went to MIT, so he's a brainiac, and graduated MIT, and I don't know what he teaches out at the Naval Postgraduate School, but something in engineering, no doubt. So, anyway,
Sailing.
yeah, so.
Hmm.
Anyway, all right. Well, if you're traveling this holiday season, safe travels and fair. What do they say? Fair weather and following seas, and
We still got a couple weeks before that, though.
still have a couple of weeks before the holidays, but we're getting into the depth of the holiday season now. Oh, something that we probably should talk about a little bit. We should talk a little bit about real estate, maybe at least a sentence or two. Uh, interest rates have come back down. They're down to around 7.25 right now, between 7.25, 7.5. They're back down. They shot up to like 8.5 this fall, but they're back down. Inflation is down. The Feds are happy with what's happening regarding inflation. So there's no threat of raising interest rates. And I always call this buyer season. This time of year is buyer season,
That's true. Yeah.
right? So anybody who's on the market this time of year, they're serious about selling and can usually negotiate a nicer deal because there's not that many buyers out in the market right now. So Wes and I are looking to keep ourselves busy.
Let us know.
Okay. All right. Have a good week, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.